Hey guys! So I decided to do a Draw My Life. I've been working on it for the past couple of days, just pre-drawing the pictures so I know what it's going to look like, and I really hope you like the video. My parents were both young when they got pregnant. My mum was 18 and my dad was 21, and they both lived in a small town called Wanganui, which is in New Zealand. On the 23rd of the 11th 1992 is when my life started. I weighed 8 pounds and 2 ounces, and my mum said it was a very painful birth. When I was born, my mum said that everyone came and visited her in the hospital, my aunties and uncles and probably nannies and granddads, and everyone brought my mum lots of nice gifts like flowers and stuff like that. Also, after I was born, my dad came to the hospital drunk with his friend, and they actually were escorted out of the hospital because they were not allowed in drunk. I was the first granddaughter in the family, so my mum said I was spoiled rotten. I had loads of dresses, too many to wear probably, that my family had bought for me. When I was 5 months old, my mum was taking me for a walk in the pram, and I fell out of the pram and I had to go to hospital and get stitches in my forehead, which you can actually still see a scar from today. "18 months after I was born, my parents had another baby, and so I had a little brother, and his name was Reese. I didn't like Reese at first. I tried to get Mum and Dad to take him back to where he came from. As soon as he started talking, I loved him. I used to try and get him out of his bed, and I would talk for him and never let him speak for himself. When we were both little, my parents bought our first house. This is the house we grew up in, and it was in a town called Wanganui, in a small suburb that wasn't really near anything. It was a 2-storied house, and I used to help my little brother climb out into the roof from our bedroom windows. I spent the first 5 years of my life drawing, and I even started to use a sewing machine at 3 years old. And ever since I was a little girl, I said I wanted to be a fashion designer. When I started kindy, I used to tell everyone how much I loved it. But every single day of my life at kindy, I got there and screamed and cried. I even used to say things like, "Don't make me go, Mum, they hurt me." And I did this right up until I started school, and then I stopped because I loved it at school. When I was little, we used to have chickens, and I would go outside to see them with my teddy bear, and I would say "Chook, chook, chook," which is how I ended up with the nickname Chook, which I still get called by my family, and I hate it. My 3 best friends were Nikita, Louise and Rachel Lee, who I went to kindy with, and then we all went to school together as well. After a couple of years at my first school, I transferred to a different school, which was in the country, leaving my friends behind to start at a new school. At my new school, I didn't really have that many friends when I started, until a new girl also started, and we were best friends for a few years, till she started hanging out with some of the more popular kids when we got a bit older. Later on though, my friends Louise and Rachel Lee also started at my new school, so I had my friends again, as well as a couple of other friends that I had made. I started at an all-girls secondary school in 2006 with my friend Louise, and I still kept in contact with my other friends through calling them or writing letters. At the school I made loads of good friends. Some of them are still my best friends today and some of them are not. In school I took a lot of arty subjects like graphics, art, photography and fashion. During my time at school I had the opportunity to take part in drawing competitions, and I had that 2 years in a row, and I also entered the underground youth fashion show, achieving a highly commended award one of the years. When I was around 13, my parents decided to sell our house and bought a new one which was in town and a lot closer to everything, including the school I was attending. Then when I was about 16 they sold this house and moved to the country, which was about a half an hour drive from Whanganui, and it didn't really change anything. We drove into town every day so my brother and I could still go to the same schools we were at. In 2010 I graduated high school and was accepted into the Whanganui Youth School of Fashion Bachelor course. And when I finished high school I decided that I wanted to move into town so I could easily get to course every day, and this is when I started flatting. I first moved in with my cousin, his partner and their baby, and I moved about 5 different times, flatting with loads of amazing people and some not so amazing people. And then I moved back home this year for my final year of study so that I could save some money and afford to buy stuff that I needed for course. I am now in my 3rd and final year of my fashion degree and have met some awesome people and made great friends at my course. I've also just been to Auckland for work placement, working with 2 amazing New Zealand fashion labels, State of Grace and Kate Sylvester, and I had a lot of fun working there and I learnt a lot about production. I really enjoyed my time in Auckland, and while I was there I decided to apply for a graphic design school called Yobi. I've just been accepted into Yobi and will be moving to Auckland in 2014 to study a diploma in computer graphic design for 1 year. Congratulations me! So far my life has been pretty good and I only hope it gets better from here. Thank you for watching.